Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. Today we want to take a look at Yeti Smash in Legend League, and I will show you guys how exactly to take down ring bases, for example. I think we're going to have a couple of teaser bases in there as well, but we will figure that out later. Obviously there are a ton of different army compositions out there. I personally do not like the witch version of Yeti Smash too much. Most of the top pushers are using it though. For me it hasn't been working that well. But that's the great thing about Yeti Smash. There are so many different versions out there, like with Earthquake, double jump, whatever. I'm using the one jump and the Warbreaker version because I feel like this is giving me the most flexibility. And let's get started with the first base. So this is kind of like the old Stephanie base, which I highlighted like a couple of seasons ago. I don't know if you guys still remember that, but the base setup got changed a little bit. But to be honest, this is how you can attack every single ring base, or like how you can approach it. First off, you're selecting a corner where there's no hero placed. And by this I mean Royal Champion, King, and Queen. Enemy Warden does not count as a hero on the defense because that's more like a like a one building defense more like. So you do want to avoid the enemy heroes. This is pretty important. Later on I will show you guys that you have not to really fear a single Firmament Tower on a Warden Walk, but you do want to avoid the enemy heroes. This is pretty important. And on this army composition, which I'm using at the moment, you have a lot of rages, so you can use them. If you have to rage the Warden in the Warden Walk, or even twice, do it. That's totally fine. But you should always aim for roughly round about the Warden Walk of maximum 1 minute. Otherwise, it's going to be close on time. The next thing which I want to talk about is why exactly do we do a Warden Walk? Because we do not have to invest anything. Trying to get the same value right now, which I'm getting right now with my Warden, with the Queen, would have been obviously way quicker, but at the same time I do need to funnel her. Like I have no clue where she's going. Is she going to the right, left, up, down? No clue. So this is why the Warden is so much better in scenarios like this. The next thing what you're trying to go for is try to snipe the enemy town hall always with the blimp. This is pretty important. I have like a Yeti blimp in there, and the next thing which is important is try to aim for having the blimp getting covered by the warden ability, because this is pretty clutch. Town hall is going down like in a second. We have still tons of freezes, tons of rages left. We just dropped like another one. Now the Queen is sadly getting targeted by the single Firmament Tower. I'm not 100% sure if I had to actually use the Queen ability, but there was a little bit of not the best decision by me using the freeze spell, not onto the single Firmament Tower, but in the end, we still should be able to get this. I mean, the enemy Queen is still alive, that's a bummer, but still, we have the Royal Champion ability, which we can use to make sure that the back-end defenses are going down, for example, the Arch Tower. Now the enemy Queen is going to be taken out, and we have about 50 seconds left, and this should be enough. Like, we're placing both of those archers at the left side, because most of our troops should end up over there, because on the right side, we still have the Kingdom of the Boulders and the Wizards, so they should deal the job over there. And well, now the Queen is breaking out of the inner core, and then we should be good to go. So this is kind of the approach on how we can attack basically every ring base right now in the game, especially, you know, those really wide bases. They're working exactly like this. So this is how we can do it, but I think we should take a look at a couple of more bases and how to approach those. And well, that's the first one. Let me guys know, by the way, what is your favorite army composition when it comes down to Yeti Smash? Or what are you guys using if you're a Yeti Smash attacker? Do you use earthquakes? Do you use just one jump like I do, or multiple jumps? Let me know what exactly you think. The next base, yes, sadly I wasn't finding any better base today where I can show you guys how to attack teaser bases, but just take this base as an example on how you can approach those teaser bases. First off, you do not want to go into the town hall. This is most of the time kind of risky because all of the traps are going to be stacked, or like they are stacked over there. So what are you trying to go for is, there are two options. First off, you're starting the Warden Walk at the flank of the town hall, which I'm doing right now, or like at the bottom side when the town is on the right. Or what you can do, which is most of the time the best decision, on this basis wasn't really possible, but what is most of the time the best decision, just do the Warden Walk on the opposite side of the Town Hall, walk to either side, and then get to the town hall. And the good thing about this attack is you do not need to actually get into the town hall compartment because, well, you have the Yeti blimp, so you don't care that the town hall is that far back. And I will show you guys that in a second. If you're really good, you can sometimes even try to time a couple of loons to make sure that you don't even need a freeze spell for the single firmament tower. So do not be afraid of using rages or freezes to charge the single firmament tower with your warden. Don't be afraid of that. Next thing is going to be we're going to approach the base from the bottom side and then just using the warden with the blimp in combination to make sure that we're actually getting to the town hall. I'm using the freeze spell over here because I'm kind of scared that we're not making it to the town hall. And most of the time, because there's so much value around the town hall, you can just rage up the blimp. If you want to make sure that you sometimes do not need a rage, you need to make sure that you're having 2 Yetis and 3 super goblins in your blimp. Otherwise, this won't work because of the recent Yeti nerf to the town hall. But either way, once again, this was just for showcasing you because the defenses were kind of low, to be honest. So this approach nearly always works. Obviously, you can execute it way better, but I just wanted to give you guys the idea on how to approach those bases. And I think since we had like 1 teaser base, we should get back to ring bases because that's the main topic of this video. So let's figure out where to place the last cleanup troops, but this should be an easy peasy triple. We have like over 1 minute left. This base is done. And well, let's get over to the next base and let's see how we can beat the next ring base. I think that's a pretty good idea. And one more question to you guys, since first off, let me guys know if you're using Yeti Smash, what is your army composition, or like what are your spells looking like? And the next thing is, let me know what army composition you would like to see a guide on my channel, because right now I feel like I'm doing a lot of Zap Lalo or Zap Queen Charge Hybrid or just Queen Charge Hybrid, but I want to have some more variety in there, and so you guys just let me know. One more time, next ring base. On this one, it's kind of the same thing again like on the first one. We are picking aside a corner basically where there are no heroes, and on this one there are no heroes. The next thing is if you have multiple corners where no heroes are located, then the next thing is you're looking for ground expos. If there's a ground expo, you do not want to warden walk over there because this is kind of how the healers work. The healers are switching from a target if this target has full HP. So what you want to do in your warden walks, you want to have a warden walk, and then when the warden is switching, there should be no defense on the warden. The reason for that is kind of simple, because if the warden is not under fire and he has full HP, the healers are going to switch to the Yetis, and that's kind of the key thing to make those Yeti smash attacks to work. The next thing on this base, I should have deployed the king on the right side and the Yetis on the left, but I somehow messed that up. Now a couple of more loons, wall breakers in behind so we can get through the first wall and then obviously like jump in behind to get into the core. And one more time, use the blimp in combination with the warden. So what I'm doing over here, I'm using the first rage, then I'm seeing, okay, enemy clan cast is coming out, so what I should do right now, just use the warden ability, covering the enemy or my own blimp as well. Now the rage that the loons and obviously the Yetis from my blimp are covered in there, and then just at some point add your royal champion on the outside, try to help to make sure that your troops are staying alive. A free spell for the core, and this is looking really good because our healers are still alive mainly, our royal champion is still doing his or her thing over there, and then we have still the queen ability. It's working, or it's looking really good. Freeze for the back end to make sure that my healers are staying alive because of the multi-infernal tower. This means all of the beams from the multi-infernal tower are now switching to my Yetis, and they're getting healed up like non-stop. Meanwhile, my queen is having time finally to catch up to make sure that we can wreck this base. So like I said, it's always the same approach. Pick a corner where no enemy heroes are, and then just go from there. Decide for either side, that's kind of depending on the attack, and then just get in there, Yeti blimp as soon as you use the warden ability, and then just rage the core if there are more enemy defenses. And most of the time you can do a multi-task rage, if that makes any sense, which means you can place a rage which is covering the inside blimp troops like the Yetis on the town hall and your outside troops as well. It's kind of tricky, you should try to learn that, but still, it's a really good strategy. It's working really great in Legend, especially with the Yeti blimp. And the nicest thing about that, it's nearly impossible to get it 1-star because you always have the blimp for the town hall. Obviously, you need to learn to get the timing right in between of the blimp and the vulnerability, because otherwise the blimp might not actually get to the town hall. But except that, like, it's nearly impossible to get a 1-star. So that's really, really great about this strategy, and it's a really good strategy to still get a 3-star. And well, this is how you can smash ring bases easily. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Like I said, let me know, what is the next army you guys would like to see? Is it another Zap video or is it something else? Let me know. I will try to get the next strategy for you guys out there to make sure that you can learn it and smash in Legend League. So guys, thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys back tomorrow, and until then, see ya and bye bye.